Hey, good morning. Welcome in and welcome back, everybody. It is Laura, and we are going to talk about Uranus stationing retrograde. This shift is going to happen tomorrow, but we're going to talk about it today. And so Uranus is kind of sitting there at a standstill. It's not going forward. It's not going backwards. It's sitting at 1 degree 27. It's been sitting here since the last major perfecting transit when Mercury was in a square to Uranus. And so this is pretty interesting energy, right? Because I also feel the timing of this is highly significant with it happening one day before the total lunar eclipse. And so there's liberation here. There's sudden awakenings. There's epiphanies. There's breakthroughs. I want to say there's pivots. And I do feel this is in preparation for the eclipse just happening the next day. And so there's endings, there is releasing, and there is major karmic completion, especially with Pisces being the last sign of the zodiac, and with Uranus and Gemini. This is asking us to break down all of these collective illusions. 111, I noticed on the timer. That is all about instant manifestations. And what they showed me connected to this retrograde is we're starting off the retrograde with the archetypal energies of the Magician reversed and the Ace of Wands reversed. And so we got to break down the illusions of self, the illusions of control, I want to say, because the Magician reversed can be a master manipulator. It is manipulation at its finest. And this is blocking life force energy. And so in order for us to be prepared for the eclipse release energy, we're kind of sitting in this very karmic energy as Uranus goes retrograde. And so get prepared for a major release. We do see here Uranus in the 12th house of the 19th degree of the Taurus cusp. And so there's this straddling energy as we prepare for this retrograde motion, okay? And so keep in mind this chart is pulled for Eastern Standard Time for my local area in the world. And so adjust the timing for where you are at in the world. But this is where we go deep into the shadow realms with Uranus. And there is an alchemy between Taurus and Gemini. And so I do feel there's karma here, right? The 12th house is karma. The 12th house is hidden enemies. It's illusions. And it is unconscious patterns. And this is collective unconscious patterns that we're talking about here. And so awakenings, I want to say, are likely going to come through in dreams because there is this deep sense of the subconscious unraveling. And so it's like the karma unraveling in dream space. And so with the 12th house cusp at 19 degrees 57, there is this sun energy, the sun archetype, along with the 3 of swords. And so that's the vibration kind of attached to this 12th house retrograde energy. And so this really is pointing to heartbreak, I feel, separation and clarity. But it's going to be painful clarity because it's been something that we've avoided up until now, even though our intuition is saying, hey, here's the truth. And it's this energy of like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to look at it. And with the ascendant sitting at 29 degrees in Gemini, that is the final karmic degree of Gemini, okay? And so this is like the emphasizing energy of communication, of truth, of duality, because Gemini is the sign of duality. And so because we're sitting at that anaretic degree in the ascendant, there is this pressurized energy to choose, to make a choice. And are we going to choose illusion or are we going to choose authenticity? Because this pressure is saying, hey, we can't keep playing into the distortion of the Magician reversed energy. We have to step into divine truth. And because the second house, I want to say, is a part of this because it is also sitting at a very karmic degree point at 19 degrees 07. And we see the second house here in Cancer. This is connected to finances. This is connected to security. This is connected to self-worth. And there's somebody here, I want to say, entangled in some type of karmic debt because Uranus is in that trine to Pluto in Aquarius in the 8th house of shared resources. And so right now, I feel many in the collective, they are being asked to release codependencies on these karmic attachments within relationships that basically have been rooted in all of these old wounds around security right? Because the second house represents security. It also represents our self-worth. And a lot of people in the collective tie their self-worth to material things. And these shared resources that we acquire within these karmic relationships do have to be dismantled and dispersed. And so with the fourth house also carrying an undertone of a karmic degree, the fourth house sitting in Virgo at 4 degrees 19, there's home energy here. There's roots energy here. There's this inner foundation that is going to reveal a deeply rooted karmic entanglement connected to your ancestral roots, your ancestral patterns. And so there is a need, I want to say, to purge perfectionism, right? And so Pisces is the merger energy. Pisces is the dreamlike energy of oneness. It's tapping into everything. And then the opposite of that is Virgo. It's time to get grounded. It's time for that reality check, right? We can't spend all of our times floating up in the ethers. We have to get grounded in reality, and we have to see what is looking us dead in the eye right in front of us. And so we're purging perfectionism. We're purging false service is a big message. And we're purging control issues from our ancestral lines. And anybody that has prominent Virgo Pisces energy knows all about the perfectionism purging of our ancestral karma. And so major karmic debt 19 vibration is here in the energies today as Uranus stations retrograde. And so there is a karmic debt theme very loud in the energies today. And this is connected to ego, narcissism, misuse of power, control, or a distorted sense of authority. And so this is kind of where the Emperor reversed archetype is kind of surfacing. So that misuse of this masculine power and these narcissistic behaviors and this domineering control dynamic within the masculine collective is being broken down right now, okay? And so with all of these planetary aspects, with Uranus sextile Neptune retrograde and Saturn retrograde, both of those sitting in the 10th house, there is a carrying energy of a very heavy karmic contract, because there's this Magician reversed, the Death energy, the Three of Wands reversed, the Knight of Cups reversed energy, all kind of sitting in that 10th house, which is very public, right? It's a very public house. And so something is being publicly dismantled around this illusion, around this authority. And this is all in divine timing, because I also feel this idealism around romantic projection in that house. And so the Emperor and the Sun reversed is really dominating this sector of energies as Uranus stations retrograde. And so this is a territory we're entering where manipulation in love is being exposed. This could expose a sense of like blocked intimacy in these energies and all of these distorted connections that are holding us back in these lower earth vibrations. And so there is a very heavy overarching theme as well connected to the 8th house of like this halting energy, a halting from forward momentum until all of this truth is faced and all of these illusions are dismantled. And so there's this overwhelming presence of reversal archetypes in the astrology today. And this Uranus retrograde, I do feel, is bringing about breakthroughs, but it's stalled energy. It's not rapid energy when Uranus is moving forward motion. And so I feel this really is a shift about forced delays, because we do have to fully unravel, I want to say, these illusions. And we have to face this truth. So only what's real can survive after this eclipse portal gateway. So we got to keep in mind we're going through 2 eclipses. The first one happening this Sunday on the 7th, and it's a blood moon eclipse. It's a total lunar eclipse, although we're not going to be able to see it in the Americas on our side of the planet. But this total eclipse is going to show us what needs to be revealed, what needs to be dismantled. And so collectively, I do feel like looking at this, there is a major dismantling of false authority figures, right? Or any manipulation tactics or any structures that were kind of built on an illusion, right? All of those false structures, even if it's a way that you identify with yourself, has to be broken down and dismantled. And so there's likely this feeling of a pause. I called it like a big Piscean oceanic void is what it feels like. Really hard to put words into the feeling of the emotions in this energy. But it's a great big karmic pause is kind of what we're sitting in. And this is going to be the pause before the eclipse kind of forces that closure with things that we've avoided ending, that we know deep down inside really aren't working. How much are we going to try and force something to work when it's not working? And so this is where we face these communication breakdowns. And all of these truths are going to be revealed. What we choose to do with these truths, that's up to us though, right? And so there is, I also feel collectively this very strong pull to confront narcissistic dynamics, or people that we feel are displaying narcissistic tendencies towards us, people that like to project onto us. And for the twin flames, there is a very prominent Emperor reversed energy. And I feel this is especially important to talk about because this does represent the divine masculine collective caught in a major, major karmic loop of ego control, and I want to say emotional avoidance, okay? And so this retrograde is going to begin that massive unraveling for the divine masculines who are still choosing to stay in that very egoic karmic energy and playing into narcissism. And I do feel this is where a lot of the divine masculines in the collective are going to have to face that karmic debt 19 head on, where they're going to have to release that false sense of power or this distorted authority that they've held on to, that they've gripped to, so they can finally shed the ego-based qualities and really step into that full embodiment of the true divine masculine emperor energy. And so for the divine feminine, this I feel really is a massive test of discernment for you, okay? So you might be tested. You might have been tested recently with a lot of illusions being presented, and this is a test and a lesson in you and no longer chasing illusions or chasing things that aren't meant for you, or waiting for these blocked offers from these Knight of Cups in reverse, which is, you know, the love bombers, people that come in and they sweet talk you, they love bomb you. They've got all of these words of love, and they've got this blocked offer though, because there really is no action to these words that they're speaking. And so major lesson in discernment this weekend for the divine feminine. But this karmic debt vibration, I feel, is going to clear the path for true sovereignty. That's what it's going to do. And so we are being prepared for a rebirth. We are being prepared for this eclipse. So we're going to dig in with some cards. I did choose the, what deck did I choose? Oh, the Shaman's Dream deck. Look at that, the Dragon's Hoard. And we are going to pull in with the Tarot of Dreams deck. Look at that, there's a realignment. And lastly, we will get a message from the Star Seed Oracle deck. And the card does say, I remember. And so there is a fated soul plan here that is being activated this weekend, so we can fully step into the destined life. So let's pull some of these cards and let's see what the universe has in store with these messages today. All right, let's kick off this reading with the Shaman's Dream. Let's see what messages need to come through. Oh my goodness. We get the Maiden, the Moon Maiden, the Moon Maiden. And so there is a new beginning here. There is an Ace of Cups energy here, and this is connected to the new moon eclipse for sure. Whenever I see a feminine underwater, there's very strong, I want to say Pisces vibes here. There's High Priestess vibes here. And then we get the empty well. And so there is a tower here. There is a tower. Absolutely. It's time to replenish. I feel there is almost like this High Priestess energy coming through. Could be a Pisces. It doesn't have to be. But there is this energy of being in the eye of the storm, being the calm of the storm within this collective chaos. So let's see what this deck has to say about Uranus stationing retrograde just one day before this eclipse energy. What do you got for us today, Spirit? What do you got? The farther gate. There's going to be a bold step forward. And this is connected to an Ace of Swords energy. And so I almost feel like this hermity energy, right? A lot of spiritual leaders, teachers, gurus, we have been deep in that hermity, crabby energy. And it's kind of time to step through the gate. It's time to come out, shine that light, speak that truth. I do feel Uranus going retrograde is really asking us to shine a light on these illusions, on these falsities. I do feel, if you look really closely here, there's another gateway, right? And so we're walking through the first gateway here, and further back, the farther back we go, there is a farther gate. So we're not quite sure what's on the other side of that second gate right now. It's farther behind, right? So right now we're walking through the gateway of truth. And then we still have to sift through all of these illusions. But this retrograde is asking us to take one bold step forward so we can finally go through this ego sublimation. And so the mirroring energy. We go from this Ace of Swords archetype to this Four of Swords. And so I actually love the Vanishing Mirror card in this deck. And so this is about vanishing the lower ego, right? And so somebody here is being subliminated, is what I want to say, or receiving subliminal messages, telepathic messages coming through, connected to a twin flame, twin soul connection. Very, very strong Emperor energy coming through. So this truth is putting somebody deep into a state of healing. So if we take this Four of Swords energy with the Vanishing Mirror archetypal energy coming through with the Ace of Swords, we do have a Three of Swords at play. And so this tells me that there has been that bypassing energy. Somebody here has bypassed, and I do feel it's an Emperor, because the last card out is the Fool's Embrace. This is a 22 card, further breaking down to 4, which is the Emperor. And interesting, this is going to be a blood moon, and we can kind of see the red behind this character that I feel is in this fetal position. It does feel like a lot of pain that has been avoided is surfacing with a vengeance. That's that Piscean energy, that void. And so there is a divine masculine here, dissolving the ego, dissolving the manipulation tactics, dissolving control issues, or anything that's been emotionally avoided is coming to light. And there is the transmutation or the transmuting of this deep-seated pain. And I do feel it's likely connected to a twin soul, twin flame separation. And then we get the willow, the wisp. It's a 62 card. And so I just feel, yeah, somebody is deep within the shadows of something that they buried, something that they repressed, something that they've tried to avoid. I feel strength. I feel Leo energy coming through. It could be a masculine with prominent Leo. It doesn't have to be, but I do feel fire energy. I do feel fire sign energy, and this masculine is going through it, and they are being called to repair the veil by stepping into forgiveness. And so there is that karmic entanglement, becoming untangled, unknotted. Somebody really has tied themselves up into a situation so tight. There is a Five of Cups energy here. There's guilt, there's shame, there's regret coming through, and this is all faded. And so there is a masculine here being called back to the heart of his home. And this is written in the sky. This is destiny. This is fate at play, and it is going to lead down the pathway of wish fulfillment. And there's that Ace of Wands energy with the heart, home, and the compassion card. And so right now, if you resonate as a divine feminine, you're being called to just embrace the cosmic womb. So that's where I'm feeling that hermity energy. And maybe it's because I'm a Pisces ascendant, 7th house Virgo, but I'm deep in the feminine, divine feminine cosmic womb energy. And there is this lover's quality as well. And so there's a feminine here I feel coming through that has journeyed to balance, that has journeyed to harmony, and is stepping into being some type of spiritual master teacher. She is the inspiration. She is the joyful divine muse. She is singing her soul song. There is Christ consciousness coming through here. And I do feel as a feminine comes into balance, steps into her mastery, because basically 33 breaks down to 6. So 6, 6, 66. I feel a Queen of Pentacles energy. There is a feminine coming through, very grounded, very nurturing, very stable, very solid. That's the last queen embodiment that we master in the tarot before stepping into that full embodiment of the Empress. And so I do feel there is an obstacle. There is a block ahead because a masculine has created a big wall around his heart. He's avoided transmuting this pain of the separation. He's feeling like a sacred clown, a sacred fool, all because I feel he's refused the call. And then there's those flying monkeys coming through again today. So there's the death energy. And so there is the death to the narcissism, the narcissistic patterns, the triangulation, the manipulation, the flying monkeys. And I do feel the masculine is straddling between two worlds, right? The wandering between two worlds. And I'm going to go deeper into that energy when I talk about the eclipse coming through tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about that for the weekend energy. And so there's a Queen of Swords here. And I do feel this is the feminine holding steady in her truth, her embodiment. And the masculine is the one straddling two worlds, because if he is to wander into the realm of the divine feminine, it will require radical truth, radical honesty, and authenticity. And so there's the eye of the needle, or the eye of the storm, so to speak. And this is all about intentionally choosing the healing path and getting back to integrity. And so I do feel a deeply wounded masculine energy coming through today in the message. And they're being asked to step into the gateway of this healing. And so at first glance, I know it says the farther gate, but I always look at that card and the first word that comes to mind is the father gate. So when we think about that father energy, we're healing the distorted masculine energy, the father energy in the collective. So let's see what this tarot deck has to say today. Oh my goodness. We get the Strength card and the Death card in reverse. There's that Leo energy I was feeling very prominently. And we get Scorpio. And so once again, it's not over till it's over. There's also, I want to say, this ego that's been resisting this transmutation process, that's been resisting the death, been resisting the ending. And we are in the year of the snake, and this full moon eclipse is asking us to shed, to embrace the death, to embrace the transformation, and to break the chains with the ego is really what I'm getting on the cut there today. So let's see what we got coming through today. There's that Five of Wands. So we're kicking off the reading with the Five of Wands, Saturn energy, Leo energy, the Seven of Wands. We go from the 5 to the 7 to the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So very prominent Leo energy. We got some Capricorn. There's that Pandora's box, and we can't unsee that. And so I'm going to take the Fool in reversed. We get the Fool reversed, the Queen of Wands reversed, and the Page of Wands reversed. And I heard foolishness. So there is a masculine feeling foolish. They could have chosen a Queen of Wands in reverse. This is the karmic feminine energy. This could be a deep-seated feminine wound. I also feel a masculine needing to defend themselves against a karmic energy. It could be a sister, it could be a mother, it could be another lover. And then this Page of Wands in reverse, there's a very immature, childish, I want to say revengeful feminine energy coming through today. It's feeling very heavy, and that is connected to Uranus going retrograde. Definitely connected to that Fool's embrace. So I just feel there's exposure here about a false twin flame connection. Let's get these last three cards out and let's tie this all together today. What do we got? Seven of Coins reversed, but the first card out was the Tower reversed. And so this is unavoidable change. The Tower reverse is like, hey, you might have avoided this teardown. You might have avoided facing this truth, this illusion up until now. But Mars is saying, no more. We got Mars in Libra, and we've got Mars sitting in that 5th house at 19 degrees 18. There we have it, that narcissistic revelation, I want to say, the revealing. And let's face it, there are feminines out there that play into their own narcissistic tendencies. We all have that within us. I just peeked and saw the Hermit reverse, and I know that came through the other day. So how's this all going to play out? We got 2 cards out. Well, we get the Knight of Swords to the 6 of Pentacles. And so there is a karmic rebalancing at play, because I do feel there's a Queen of Wands in reverse that has blocked somebody from going towards a new beginning. I do feel somebody has blocked somebody's abundance, has maybe tried to hold somebody down or tie them down with like, you owe me this. There could be this sense of this queen wanting some type of karmic debt to be paid, or feeling like money is owed to her. But there's victory here. There's victory here. We get the 6 of Wands to the Magician, to the Ace of Swords. Oh my goodness, are you ready for this? To the 9 of Coins. And then there we have it, that 5 of Swords. And so manipulation tactics are loud. And so the victory will come with truth, with honest communication. There is an epiphany. There is some truth coming in about a divine feminine, about somebody who very well could be a business owner, single. We've got somebody here very much connected to spirit. I heard the word shaman, could be a Virgo. So whatever this eclipse gateway, this first gateway is clearing, there is a farther gate that is getting somebody towards the, I want to say the reunion with a single divine feminine. But first, the truth needs to come to light, and this truth has been avoided. This healing has been avoided up until now. And so this is the moment. This is the crossroads. This is the pivot. This is the divine why choice in the energies this weekend, where a masculine is being asked to take action, to make a choice, to move forward towards a divine feminine counterpart union. Oh my goodness. And so, yeah, this is about going in, transmuting the pain. I feel there's going to be like this tsunami of emotion, this ocean of emotion that's going to have to be worked through. It could be connected to Cancer. But remember when we channeled that Jupiter and Cancer energy just yesterday? I believe I posted that video, and it was all about karma, right? And so there is karma here. Jupiter today is sitting in that 2nd house. And so I do feel here there is a huge lesson in self-worth coming through. And so there is, I want to say too, like this sifting through illusions. There's this disillusionment happening, and there is action going to need to be taken here. And so this is it. This is no longer going to be able to be avoided. These ships are coming in. These emotions that have been avoided are coming in. And this is karmic justice. There's karma playing out in these energies. And so there's a masculine here that walled up, that hid his emotions. There is forgiveness of self here that needs to be worked through. And I do feel there's a feminine here that is protected, and you do need to protect your energy. You do need to go into the mastery of discernment in these energies, because there has been blocked emotion. Somebody here has not wanted to look at it. They've not wanted to look back at something. This is the past coming back to haunt somebody in order for them to take that bold step forward on their spiritual path, to step into spiritual maturity. This is divine intervention. This is the divine stepping in, asking a masculine to have that faith. I'm hearing that song in my head. I only talk to God when I need a favor. And so maybe there's a masculine here that was not a believer, but I do feel getting downloads, getting a major wake-up call. They are receiving messages, epiphanies, downloads from the divine about what it is that they have blocked on their heart, and what it is that they need to walk away from, or maybe what it is that they need to go back to, because we do have Saturn retrograde in Pisces, and this is about going back and tying up some loose ends. And this might require an open-hearted apology. So let's go a little bit deeper here, and let's look at the Fool reversed and the Tower reversed, because there is a new beginning here. But it's painful, all right, and it's going to come with a challenge. It can come with a lot of outside obstacles, but this is it. This is the moment where everything shifts. So what is this Tower all about? Well, we get the King of Cups to the Three of Pentacles to the Page of Cups. And so, yeah, this is going to require a lot of emotional courage, a lot of emotional strength to say, hey, can we build again? Because I think we have a masculine here that's been doing it his own way. Something connected to that Pluto and Capricorn energy. Mars in Capricorn could be a Capricorn. But this is an emotional Tower. There is a masculine here, I want to say, experiencing heart awakening. Oh yeah, this is an emotional Tower. Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, and the Hanged Man. This is a shift in perspective. We've got somebody here that's definitely not wanting to look at something, and the universe is like, you're going to have to look at this, and you won't be able to unsee it, because there is a master teacher pathway here, I feel, and there is a twin soul union here, and there is a feminine here that is birthing this energy, is what it feels like. And let me tell you, before we get to that new shift, that new earth grounding, there's going to be a lot of labor pains, but there's action. There's action. So whatever is happening during this retrograde, it is triggering action, and it is having a masculine take a look back at something they didn't want to look at. And I do think this is emotional, and it will lead to a clean slate, a brand new clean slate beginning. But they're going to have to face their past regrets. They're going to maybe have to go back and face somebody that they abandoned. Maybe they're facing their own inner abandonment woundings connected to a mother. But there's healing what's been avoided coming through very loud. And there is a masculine being asked to separate from a connection that is no longer in alignment with his path. He's being asked to boss up, to man up. And this is about legacy. This is about creating a legacy that can last a lifetime, right? We can get to the Ten of Pentacles two ways. The Ten of Pentacles is the last key in the tarot, and it breaks down to 15, and it breaks down to 6. We can gain abundance through the devil, through temptation, through trauma bonds, through manipulation tactics, through obsession, through control, or we can gain it through authenticity, through love, and through divine union. And we do have a masculine here, I think, rising above temptations in these energies. And I do think they've been in the throes of this shadow work for quite some time. So let's get a closing message here with the Star Seed Oracle deck, and let's see, it's getting to the cosmic heart of a situation here. This is about, what do you want to devote your path to? What are you devoted to? Because we are here to embrace the potency of the spiritual path, these life lessons, to make our life a moving prayer. Right back to that, I only talk to God when I need a favor energy. And there's a major life lesson reaching completion. And so somebody here is embracing some pretty painful soul growth. And this is the path of higher learning. Uranus is asking us to step into higher spiritual study, to step into higher learning. So what is the closing message today for the collective double mission? So this is connected to mission work. There is a double mission here. Somebody here is not only a light worker and a star seed, they are also here to serve the world. There is a service mission being activated, and we get the great severing, and that is connected to Mars and Libra. And so there is a severing of these karmic soul contracts. So the masculine energy can work through their anger, work through their grief, work through their conflict in order to soften into service and to soften into love. The bottom of the deck, lifting the veil. So this is exposing everything. I think there's a masculine here that is questioning everything and anything and everything unaligned, misaligned, is going to have to go. These eclipses are going to clear the path in order for the collective to remember the soul plan. And so the fated life is when things keep happening to us. The destined life is when we take the reins. Where's that card? When we take the reins and we take control, and we master our emotions, and we step into emotional, spiritual maturity, and then we step into that visionary leader. That visionary leader energy, where did he go? There he is, that visionary leader. So there's this big picture thinking coming through today. There's going to be inspired ideas, and I do feel very strongly the Pleiades energy, working with Pleiadian light beings. And it is like a gateway again, another gateway we see here. So trust in the timing, divine timing. There is a wave of twin soul, twin flames coming into union. You need to trust the wave that you came in on, because divine timing is now. And it might feel like time is running out, or it might feel like this is it, it's done, it's over, it ran out. But what I want to say is it ain't over till it's actually over, because we saw that death card reverse. So if you are the divine feminine, discern, discern, discern. Stand in that light of truth. Share your truth. Speak your truth, and use that sword of discernment, because I do feel it is all about intuition. It is all about honoring your discernment, your intuition, because there is big, big love here, and we're all done. We're all done dancing with the devil. That's what this is saying. All done dancing with the devil. And so there's a big release. There's a coming to Jesus moment. This burden can no longer be carried. And I do feel there is this karmic reckoning. So that's what I have for Uranus going retrograde. Get ready for some big, massive changes on the horizon. If you want to go further with me, check out the description box below. There you will find a link to my webpage. I offer several different readings, different price ranges. Check it out. Read the full blog post connected to the messages today, and I will check it all out again tomorrow.